Welcome to the channel, my lovely. Join us as we cook for friends on what turned out to be the autumn equinox. I didn't realise it was the equinox when I filmed this, but it was just a perfect evening. I know I showed you this view in the last video, but it's at a different time of day. So we're going to be cooking over the fire today in this fire pit, and there's just something really special about cooking over a fire. I love it. Look at the flames flickering. I just find them really mesmerising. What about you? So we're going to be cooking on a Petromax dish. It looks a bit like a satellite dish. It's made out of cast iron. So on the menu this evening we are having venison backstrap. We all love a bit of venison, and this is just one of the best ways to cook it. So I have put lard on the Petromax dish here and let it heat up so these venison backstraps are just sizzling away. And I'm not going to cook them that long because it's just a travesty to overdo steak, in my eyes anyway. You might like it well done, but we're more of a whack it over the head and wipe its backside and walk it through the door kind of family. We like it fairly rare. How delicious do they look? Now, I've turned these over a couple of times, and as you can see, the heat has gone down a bit because the wood has burnt down. So I'm just moving the steaks into the centre, and I'm going to turn them around just to make sure that they're sealed on all sides, so that the juices don't all leach out when I put it to rest. So I've finished cooking the meat, and I really need to crank the temperature up now. So put some more logs in the fire pit, and it's just building up again. I love watching that wood catch on fire. The smell of it as well. There's just something primeval about it. So we put the Petromax dish back on top and it's heating up, so it's time to put quite a lot of lard. Now, lard is my preferred cooking fat on this. If I was cooking for vegetarians and vegans, then of course I would just use oil, but lard I find gives me the best results, and hoping to get up my hands on some pig fat soon to render down more lard. I'm just letting that melt and heat up. Now I have part boiled some potatoes, and we're going to saute these potatoes on here. They go so lovely and crispy, and they're just again, it's cooking over that open fire. You just don't get a flavour like it when you cook inside. So I'm going to spread these out so that they can get as much contact with the cast iron, so that they crisp up as quickly as possible. Because woe betide me if I serve my daughter uncrispy potatoes. Now I'm going to season these at the minute. I find seasoning them as you go along instead of at the end actually works better with this. David decided that we needed to get some herbage there, so a wee bit of rosemary's going on. Look at how lovely and crispy they are. So it's time to take these off. I'm making a bit of a hash of taking these off, I'm not gonna lie. I should have got the right implement, but I was trying to save on washing up, and I didn't really want to go back inside to get anything else, so the wooden spoon it was. It was about this time I realised it might be easier if I tried and scraped them off instead of scooping them up. But Yeah, I'm not one to admit defeat very easily. But yeah, it's getting too awkward. So I'm just going to scrape these off the side whilst trying to avoid setting myself on fire, because those flames were coming through the washing machine from there. It's the perils of cooking over fire. But at least it was nice and warm. Now the spuds are off, I'm going to quickly sauté some tomatoes and garlic, and then would have been sprinkled with rosemary and lemon thyme. And these cooked in no time. The tomatoes went to a really beautiful jammy consistency, and just the cooked garlic with them. It's just a marriage made in heaven. I'm not gonna lie, I'm salivating thinking about it at the minute. So it's been a couple of minutes and the tomatoes are cooked down, and I'm just going to scrape them quickly into that bowl. I've taken everything else inside. The steak has been resting in tinfoil, and once we get this off, we're going to go inside. But before we go in, I'm going to put my heat-proof gloves on and lift the Petromax off, because I don't want to burn the backside out of it. Now that we're inside, it's time to serve up dinner. I know everyone is waiting anxiously to get their food, because time was getting on a bit. So the venison is beautifully rested. It's really, really important that you rest the meat. Serve that venison up, and then we'll serve up the potatoes. Sautéed potatoes, or we like to call them Lardy Spuds, just because they're cooked in lard. I'm sure everyone has a different name for them. And then the tomatoes and garlic. They were a really beautiful accompaniment to the venison. Now I made some pesto earlier on in the day, so I'm just going to dress the venison with that. The pesto was made with hazelnuts, basil, garlic, lemon juice, olive oil and salt and pepper. And it was all just blitzed up